You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's easy to sum it up. We're talking about practice.
Because it's about as casual as it gets. What's the problem now?
That's a clown question, bro.
I think we ought to send a beating at least.
World champions!
Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
Philadelphia, looking as only you can look. Woo!
Here we go.
And good afternoon, or I should say good evening, everybody, to another edition of the Philly Podcast. My name is Eric Perugini. I am here once again with Chris Lahiff and Pat Houseman, and we have a fun show to talk tonight. I don't know if anyone's been listening to sports talk or anything today, but everyone's favorite basketball player in Philadelphia seems to be, I guess you could say, maybe ending his holdout with the Sixers and realizing that he needs to make those mortgage payments. So, gentlemen, what's new?
What's going on? I'm going to let Pat lead off with this.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait for this one.
And if anyone knows Pat, and his love of Ben Simmons is about as much as the love that Eric shows for Ben.
Oh, well, I have a feeling that this is going to be the equivalent of Patrick's dismay for Uncle Joe from Willy Wonka. So I can't wait for this one.
Grandpa Joe, yes.
Grandpa Joe, that's it. Grandpa Joe.
Stop. It's Grandpa Joe, Jenny, and then Rose from Titanic.
Yeah, all three of them are just awful, horrible people. And the worst characters in movie history as far as I'm concerned. So Ben Simmons has to tuck his tail and come back to Philadelphia because literally nobody in the league wants him. Fantastic. I can't wait till he comes here. I'm not somebody who goes to a lot of regular season games. I watch the games from home, but I will be buying tickets this year just so I can go and boo him. I cannot stand that guy. He's the biggest definition of a baby I've ever seen from a professional athlete. You created such a problem by the way you play that you made yourself untradeable, yet you decided you were going to try to hold out and try to get pushed basically to any team of your choosing, and nobody wanted you. It's embarrassing. Like, he should be totally embarrassed, not only how he acted, but how he plays on the court, that now nobody in the league, even the Pistons, probably don't want him, or at least don't want to give up anything for him. He's one of those players that has generational talent, and because he's lazy, he'll never live up to his potential. And I can deal with somebody who's just not good enough to play at that level, but somebody with that kind of ability that's just deciding not to play is the most frustrating thing. And that's why I just can't stand the guy. I don't know if it's out of fear. I don't know if it's out of laziness. I don't know if it's a combination of both. But part of me is mad that he is coming back. But part of me is kind of laughing, too, that he's going to have to show his face in this town, play in front of the fans who hate him at this point. And I think he needs to play. He needs to be able to deal with the situation that he's caused. And he needs to hear it from all these fans that he's really pissed off. And I think that that's actually good. For a while, he was saying that, he wasn't ever even going to play here. So if he got traded to Golden State, anytime Golden State came to Philly, he wasn't going to play in Philly. Or, if he got traded somewhere in the East, let's say Washington, he wasn't going to ever play in any of the games here, for the divisional, for the division games that were here. That's just pathetic. That's just cowardly. And nobody in Philadelphia can respect that. That's not the type of player that we ever endear ourselves to. He never wanted to be here. He doesn't even sniff, whatever type of mentality Philadelphians have. He's not even in the ballpark there of understanding it. There's guys who have been here for 5 minutes and get more of it than he does. He's done everything to make himself, feel alienated. He's done everything to get the criticism that he's deserved. And a lot of times it's been deflected away from him. I think the fan base has been nicer to him in a lot of ways than they should have. And now finally the gloves are off. All the people that were in the Ben Simmons camp, 5-6 months ago now have turned on him. So he's going to be playing in front of 40,000 people every night, or 32,000 people every night that can't stand his guts. So good luck with that, kid. Good luck.
Yeah. In the same token, though, I hope you're going to boo him, deservedly so. but you can't root against him. He's playing for us. He's our starting point guard. As much as we hate him, if he goes out there and he shoots a three, he shoots a jumper, we're going to support him. Like, are we not? We're not going to cheer for him.
I want him to make some threes. This is my thing. I want him to make some threes so his ass becomes more marketable and we can get him the hell out of town. That's what I'm cheering for.
But so all right, so here's my thing. Perfect scenario. Can't get a trade for Ben Simmons. We're stuck with him all season. Sixers win the championship. Are we back on the Ben Simmons, man? What is the difference between now and then?
The difference between, and here's the thing. So the difference between it is, if they win the championship, obviously he made himself into a better player, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was.
Yeah, so he made himself into a better player. So if he makes himself into a better player, then we can actually his value's high, and we need to try him. I mean, my thing is too is the guy's not known as a worker. So even if he has a good season this year, who's to say that next year he just decides he's going to come back out and not shoot again, or just decide he's going to not really work out, or he's content with himself, or he's satisfied. Worst thing you could have in the world is a satisfied athlete because they don't want to work anymore.
Well, that's the whole problem with him. He's already satisfied. He's
correct.
I mean, he's on record many times. Like, I am who I am. You know, like, I'm an all-star. You know, those are his comments and his train of thought. So, actually, I will not root for him. I don't have to root for him. To me, he's not my player. I don't care what jersey he's wearing. He's here by default right now. He basically is. I have no care for the guy. Every time he touches that ball, if I'm in that stadium, I'm booing that guy. He does not want to be here. So no, I will not root for him. I just won't.
And I remember Phillies fans couldn't stand Cole Hamels for a while because they thought he was the California guy. That guy's the California guy. All he wants to do is be out there, be around Hollywood, be dating, doing this, doing that. Like, that's what I think about California. Like, get lost, dude. Go live out there. You know, go play out there. Go play for the Sacramento Kings. Do whatever you got to do. Get yourself marketable enough so that we can trade your ass and get you out of here as quickly as possible. Well, I can't stand. There's never been an athlete that hits me to the core. I actually defended him a lot this year up until he saw, you know, that awesome rim protector in what's his name? I've put the play out of my head. Who the hell did he thought was going to block the shot that he passed up to Thibault?
Trae Young.
Trae Young. Great rim protector. Yeah, that's a guy I'm afraid of going into the post against. Dude, I'm 6'10". You know, I'm going to pass it up. That was it. I could never ever root for the guy again after he's passing up a dunk against Trae Young. I wouldn't pass the ball up against Trae Young in the post, let alone a guy who's 6'10" and can just, you know, jump a foot and a half and dunk that ball. It's a joke. That guy is an absolute joke.
The other thing that I'm really annoyed at with him is he's come up with now 5 different excuses in this whole time to not be here. You know, and then, you know, 5 different excuses. How can I root for someone like that? He complained about basically us, the fans. He's complained about ownership. He went and complained about Embiid. How? How can you... That, to me, that's the last straw. That guy went out there with like a busted knee and still showed more heart than him on his worst day.
And I can't tolerate somebody who doesn't think that anything like he has an issue with management. He has an issue with the coach. He has an issue with his teammates. He has an issue with the fans. At what point do you realize that you're the problem? I've never seen anybody in my entire life in all sports that's more delusional than this guy, that he's done absolutely nothing to exacerbate this problem, that he won't shoot during games, or that he won't. I mean, he basically pissed himself in every fourth quarter of that Hawks series. It was a joke. I've never seen somebody who just folded up like a piece of paper that late in games. I've seen people choke. That was like next level choking. Next level, to the point where he was so afraid to shoot a foul shot that he passed up a dunk. That would have been the easiest dunk of his career. He's an absolute joke. There's nothing that's likable about this guy. He's a spoiled brat. He's a conceited, a conceited athlete who's satisfied with what he's done so far. He hasn't done squat. And the first chance he gets, he's out of here. So in 4 years, he's out of here. So if he wins a championship this year, hey, guess what? Some team's going to want him for the next 3 seasons. His stock's high. Get him out. Get him out. Bring somebody else in. That's going to be the best chance we have to be able to get somebody else in here that can actually play.
What you got, Chris?
I'm not rooting against the guy. Obviously, everyone has their own feelings. I don't think we should boo our own guys. I don't think we should boo our own team, regardless. But that's you. Listen, you guys pay your money. You guys have the right to boo. I've never booed. I've been pissed, but I've never been booed. But we're so mad at a guy that people are like, I can't wait to pay all this money to boo this man. And yet this fan base, not the Sixers fan base, this Philadelphia fan base welcomed back Odubel Herrera, who stinks, who absolutely stinks, and is quite possibly was the 3rd worst baseball player on this team. And we're going to boo Ben Simmons, who I'm not saying doesn't deserve it, but we have morons who were going to pay money to boo him, but didn't boo Odubel Herrera. Supported the Phillies for 162 games. I never rooted for Odubel, but I never rooted against him because he was on my favorite baseball team. So I'm not going to root against Ben Simmons.
Well, Odubel Herrera didn't roast his teammates. Odubel Herrera didn't roast his.
No, he just smacks women around and didn't get charged with it.
But
I'm sorry. I don't care if you throw your teammate under the bus. It happens in sports.
But when you throw the fans under the bus too, that's when fans take it personal. Because he's pointing his fingers at everybody else but himself. And look, I get the Odubel Herrera thing. I don't like the guy one bit. I don't think the Phillies should have bought him back. I really don't think the Phillies, once they did, and the PR thing was out there, hey, it's done at this point. I didn't agree with it. I thought that was wrong. I didn't think the Eagles should have bought Vic in. I think a lot of these guys get second chances and they don't deserve it. But this guy thumbed his nose like he's better than us. Like, oh, I don't want to go back to Philadelphia. I want to stay out in California. No, bud, you're done. That's it. You badmouth the city, you badmouth your teammates, you badmouth your coach, you badmouth the ownership, you badmouth everybody that would listen to you and said it wasn't your fault when it was 100% your fault. You're done. You're dead to this fan base. I've never seen a player be worse as far as for making himself look worse to a fan base than that guy.
But here's the thing. While we sit there and say he threw teammates under the bus, you never heard him say it. You heard his camp say it. Now, for me, Ben Simmons has got to come out and he's got to fire Clutch Sports. Rich Paul is really starting to look like he's really not a good agent. He's getting sued by Nerlens Noel, and now this debacle. There was a story because he represents Maxey, and he was like, "Don't even worry about the charities in Philadelphia because you're not going to be there in 3 years." So while Ben Simmons gets 98.9% of the blame, we got to look at Clutch Sports and see did Ben Simmons really say that about Embiid? As a fan, you can't sit there and say and look I'm sorry, Ben Simmons. Let me phrase that. Ben Simmons can't look in the mirror and go, Joel Embiid messed up my game. He can't. He realistically can't look in the mirror without laughing at himself because it's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard that Joel Embiid hurt Ben Simmons' game. So while I get your point and, Ben Simmons said this about the city, Ben Simmons said this about the fans, you never heard him actually say it. Was it his camp putting it out there? Absolutely. If you heard it come from his mouth, for me, I would look at it differently. But I'm looking at it as it's all hearsay.
I would rather hear from his mouth.
Yeah,
I'd rather hear from his mouth because it just shows how big of a coward he is. He's sending somebody else out.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me with that?
But that's sports. Just like the one situation last year, how everyone said he couldn't get along with Doug Peterson. You never heard it. They can't put it out there. There's all these things. It's all hearsay. Again, I'm not saying.
I think it was Shaq. There's been other people that have said his camp's leaked stuff out too that they're saying, hey, you might want to consider going back to Philly. hey, you might want to consider this. And he's basically saying, I pay you guys. You guys tell them what I want to say and what I want to hear, what I want out there. And then I heard the camp's kind of just like, oh, like we don't want to put this out there, but he's telling us we have to put this out there. He's terrible. Like, he is terrible to deal with. And it goes back to the family. Like, I remember watching that thing when he was at LSU and how coddled he was and how baby he was. It's a joke. All his life, he has been coddled and he's been babied. And it's happening now. They're doing the same thing. He's telling them, you work for me. You go put this out there. I'm not putting it out there. You put it out there. I think they know it's a dumpster fire. But, again, they work for him. They have to do it.
I'm sorry. I can't go with this. We didn't hear him actually say it. You know what we saw? You know what we heard? We heard the people booing his play on the court. We saw him disappear. His play is his words. We heard him twice take no responsibility at the end of a season. So don't give me this BS that just because we didn't hear him say it, that we didn't hear it. Stop it. Stop it. That's being an apologist for a piece of crap player that doesn't take accountability for how bad he is in the NBA, for being coddled in the NBA. Stop it. Stop being a freaking homer and tell him to take responsibility. You're not going to boo him. You're a freaking homer, Chris. You piss me off when you talk about Ben Simmons. Damn it.
Hold on. So here's the thing. Why am I booing my player?
Because he sucks. That's why. Because he absolutely sucks.
That's why.
Then you know what? Spend the money, go to the stadium, and then make
sure
ever
a player in Philadelphia that deserves it.
People spend the money to go see this guy play, and he shoves it up our ass. But no, let's not boo him just because he plays in Philadelphia. That's the biggest horseshit excuse ever for fans to say.
I said I'm not.
You're an idiot for not booing him. You're not supporting your own fan base.
Have you met our?
You're not supporting your own
fan base in sports.
Yeah, I've met the fan base, and you're one of the freaking idiots.
They're the dumbest
Jesus
fan base
Christ.
in sports.
You know. So hold on. So this.
Yeah, and you're representing him right now because you don't want to boo him.
I'm going to pay $300.
No, I'm telling it how it is. You don't want to boo him because you don't want to hurt his little feelings anymore. Who the hell cares?
I didn't say about hurting his feelings.
That's what it sounds like. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Team. I don't.
But this guy needs to be
when they deserve it. Yes, you should.
You guys are fucking.
If you're gonna break that rule for anybody, this is the guy to do it. He's used to hearing people tell him whatever he wants to hear. So now, guess what? You're gonna sit there. You're gonna listen to 40,000 people boo you, and you're not gonna hear what you want to hear. And that's the opportunity for the fans to get out there and tell him because he's not on Twitter.
The next thing that's going to happen.
Right.
No, I'll tell you the next thing that's going to happen. Everybody will boo him. He'll get traded. And then this guy in the top right corner is going to be like, we ran another player out of the city. That's exactly what's going to freaking happen. And you know what? I'm going to be like, well, when is it okay? Exactly. He's made it very clear. He doesn't have to sit there and write on a piece of paper and go, I hate Philadelphia. He doesn't have to do it.
Right.
What he's done on the court and what he has said off the court after a season is basically over, where he's taken no accountability, is all you need to know. It's all you need to know.
This is a blood and guts town. We want guys that want to be able to play. We want guys that want to win. This guy wants to play so he can live his lifestyle. That's it. That's all. That's what basketball is to him. Basketball is a means for him to go live the rich lifestyle. That's it. He doesn't want to be here. He doesn't want to be a basketball player. He wants to go live out in California and in the off season sit by the pool with models and whatever. And that's your thing. That's your thing. But go do that in some other town. It don't work here. I don't want it. I don't want it on my team. Goodbye. I would take a box of basketballs for him. Well,
all right. I'm gonna end this part of the show because it's absolute horse crap. So I'm going to lean right into what's going on next. We're going to head into some Flyers hockey since it's a new season. You know, we need to calm it down a little bit, get some cool it down with some puck talk. And with that, I'm going to announce and bring in from Flyers Nitty Gritty, our good friend, Frank James. He's a good buddy of ours. And gentlemen, hello. And Frank, how are you tonight, my man? You came in at a good time.
I thought I was the hot takes and cupcakes, man.
Hot takes and cupcakes.
Hey, Frank, just remember, you know, the Philadelphia Flyers fan base booed Carter Hart last year.
Yeah, and you know what?
They did.
You're right.
And he looks better, right?
Philadelphia fan base was the key 2 words. Can I comment on the topic though? One.
Sure.
Absolutely. Everyone
So-
has
Their own opinion.
So Eric, you guys both make good points for whether side you want to see. So Eric, right off the bat, yeah. I mean, listen, you got to play, but I have to say, Pat, basketball is a sport that it's like a playoff team. Either you're a diehard basketball fan, just like hockey. Either you're a diehard hockey fan,
Mommy will get it.
or you're a diehard basketball fan. Okay. So right off the bat,
Close the door.
so players in the NBA are all about 18 years of hockey. 18, yeah, William, I'll take it. I'll raffle it off for charity for mental illness. Absolutely. I'll if you don't mind. I mean, guys, this is your show, but we could do something nice, whatever. So right off the bat, may not have it, guys. I'll dive into that. Is that Steven? Stay with us. So Pat, I see your point. Good people play for the Bucks, the big house, the Morristown house, and I lived in Morristown. All right, now. So listen.
The Morristown.
The heart's still in Borough Park, though, dude. Don't worry about that, Chris. We already know that, baby. We already know that, Chris. 15 years goes a long way. So, Pat, I have to side with you. Players in the NBA, they come for the Bucks. They come for the show. They come for the tweets. They come for the Instagram posts. That's Ben Simmons. No heart. I would move him. I would still move him today. You are a better team without him. Max players do not average 10, 4, and 4 in the playoffs. I'm sorry.
Yep.
With that being said, we got a big day on Friday, boys. Let's do it.
So, sir, how have you been, Frank?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. The hottest free agent on the market right now.
Yeah.
Not too much into it right now, but sending out lots of love to my Talking 215 brothers over there with Jake and Joe. Love you guys to pieces. Thanks for everything you guys did for me. But it's time to be be the free agent that I've always known that I could be. Love those guys to pieces. With that being said, doing good. Obviously, we know about Pop, and obviously I haven't been on a show with you recently in a long time. Ernie, love you more than anything in the world. Always praying for you, my brother. Chris, fuck you. Pat,
That seems to be.
Jesus Christ.
I love it.
That seems to be
Chris is so
the
wild,
going
though.
thing is, everyone wants to come at me. And then listen, I'm here to take it.
Chris,
I'm going to give it right back.
Take it. We both take it.
I'm going to always bring up my points, and Eric's going to bring up his points. I'm just not a guy. I don't boo our players. As terrible as they are, I don't boo them. That's just me.
It's a good take.
But that's everyone's. Everyone has their own different opinion. You want to boo? Boo. I don't care. It's not about hurting his feelings. I just haven't done it my entire life.
Well, we also want the best for all of our players. We also want the best for all of our players.
That's true.
So to boo them is obviously a sign of degrading, realistically. That player's not good enough. Well, you know what? They may be doing their best they can. And obviously, you guys know me well enough with mental illness. You never know what that player's going through. I also have to take that into account. Bill, that's obviously not mine. But yeah, I mean, I respect that. I respect that, Chris. I really do.
All right, so let's get into some hockey talk because that's why we're on. We were going to talk some football, but we got a little eat it with the Ben Simmons situation. Let's do 36 minutes.
Ryan Ellis. Let me Ryan Ellis this group and slow the game down.
Ryan Ellis, there you go.
So, well, I'll tell you what I got out of the preseason. Who is the defenseman? It slipped right out of my mind. Who thanks the goalie for controlling the puck, and you can hear him clear as day. Who is it?
One more time.
The defenseman who, when the goalie controls the clock.
The clock.
When the goalie controls the clock.
The puck.
It's all the Ben Simmons love in my mouth.
Like who thanks him for controlling that?
Yandel.
It's usually a second line guy. So I was obviously there for a lot of the preseason games. Shout out to Flyers Nitty Gritty for giving me the opportunity to always cover the team, and obviously shout out to you guys for having me be part of this. I want to say it's the loudest mouth in the guys, so it was probably either me or you, Chris, but we weren't there together. So it probably was. I believe that was actually, believe it or not, I believe that was actually Yandel, who's shouting out, and was obviously in certain situations, Carter was smack the stick. We obviously know that rule, but Yandel has been extremely vocal for what they got for Yandel for $800,000. That might be $900,000. Wow. It's starting to actually might be one of my best pickups of the offseason.
That is really good. Like I was like we spoke before about the Flyers pickups during the offseason and how they brought a lot of leadership to the team. Like at one point they have worn at least the A on their jersey, and I thought that was a good mix with the younger guys and the veterans with their leadership. I feel that they have a very good mix of young and older, and it's showing. It's starting to show a lot. But I do have to ask the burning question that everybody wants to know right away. And what was the deal with sending Frost down?
Excuse me for 1 second.
Apparently, White Claw is a sponsor.
I have no sponsors no more. But you know what, dude? And the reason why you're asking is because of 2 nights ago. It's because of the game we saw, and it's not because of confidence, Sean. Great point, though. But going back to seeing the way he just played, his confidence is at the game. It's 2 things. It's depth, and sadly, AV is not big on the young guys. We've seen that all before. He is not one of those coaches that are big on the young guys. Look at everybody he brought in. Not mad about the moves. Chris, Ernie, my brother over there. We obviously know. We talked about this before. He's not big on the young guys. I don't know why, but look at all the moves that he brought in. Everybody had an A on their jersey for a reason. Leadership, veterans. Most of these guys that we brought in were in their 30s. I love Frost. He was one of my biggest players coming up. I can't wait to see what he has to say, the son of a bitch. So Frost is one of those players, obviously, that just – I mean, I would have held on to him. I was pretty surprised. Obviously, Sam Wismer, part of specimen of the Phantoms and Flyers Nitty Gritty. She's really big, obviously, with the young guys. But, I mean, I've seen Frost. I was there for rookie camp. He was one of my players up there with Tyson Forrester. My top 2 players that
Forrester's got a shot.
Tyson is 19-year-old. Well, I'm not sure if you guys saw him. I had an interview with Ian LePerriere during rookie camp, and one of my questions that I asked him was about Tyson Forrester. 19-year-old kid. And we have to go back and thank Hextall for this. People forget about that. Hextall was the reason why we have a lot of these players, the reason why we have depth now.
Hextall's the Ed Wade of hockey.
100%. Ed Wade was responsible for the 2008 World Series. And Chris,
and what
baseball man,
and what the Astros are doing right now.
Exactly right.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Can you put that back up? AV has turned to Larry Brown of hockey. He didn't play many kids with. I love the takes because I love hockey. I want to say thank you guys so much for having me on. You guys are my family. Love you guys to pieces. AV is turning to Larry Brown of hockey. It's a good take. There's a lot of things, and I love being part of the media. Love AV, but there's a lot of things that I have issues with. Special teams is one of them. We've talked about that plenty of times. If you guys saw my articles for Flyers Nitty Gritty and Bleacher Report, I just did my pros and cons. One of my biggest cons for the last couple of years is the power play. 3 for 15 in preseason. 3 for 15.
Well, go back to the playoffs during the 2020 year and how big they were.
I didn't even have to say it, but we know. It's a continuous thing that has to be changed. It's preseason. No, this is still continuing with years. Oh, it's preseason. Well, it's also preseason for the other team. Sorry, 3 for 15. Have we tried yell and shoot? Not in the press box. That's kind of more. So in the press box, it's more or less.
That works, by the way.
Yeah, in the press box, it's like, yeah, all right. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's it's one of those things where AV, if here's the deal, I'll make this about the team. Who is it, brother? Help me, Chris.
Jonathan Taylor just ran like an 80-yard touchdown.
Fantasy. So here's the deal. If things don't work out this year, now obviously we know my takes, Eastern Conference Finals, and I was going to say at the end of the show, we'll dive into that then. But if the Flyers don't go at least into the second round, we got to think about things with the coaching. I mean, we have the talent on this team now to where we should be able to go a little bit further.
Yeah, I have them pegged for 102 to 105 points.
I love that. Yeah,
Like,
I mean, that's high. That's higher than me. That's higher than me.
You got to figure that's at least 48 wins and a couple overtime losses. Like it's very doable. You're not playing the same team 5 times over and over and over again. There's going to be a training camp. There's going to be practice. There's going to be all these things. So, like, Carter Hart is a stud. They finally got the defense in front of them, in my opinion. And you go back to the Morgan Frost thing. They have depth on the lines. Obviously, it hurt with Kevin Hayes, looking at Instagram models and getting hurt. But it's there. Like it's there. I'm looking at 28 to maybe 32 goals for TK. He can't be as bad as he was last
Hot
year.
take. I love it.
So somebody has to score. I mean, we know, like, I love the fact that Atkinson just shoots, doesn't just puts the puck on net. Like his
first mentality, and
yes.
we knew what we were getting.
Yes, and that's what we need. That's what we need to go. Now, what line is he on?
So Cam Atkinson is going to be on the second line. Now, here's my thing about TK. I didn't read that yet. We need TK to score exactly what you said. I'll even settle for 25 goals, to be honest with you. Bounce back here. 25 goals I'm okay with. I don't like him on the first line. You guys know how I feel about my boy. I don't even need to say his name. I want Cam with Claude. I want Coots, Claude, CCC. Huh. Hot take. Have hot takes and cupcakes, guys.
And listen, that's a good line.
I like it better. Coots,
listen, you
TK
got
has had 1 assist in the preseason. 1 assist in 4 games on the first line. Claude Giroux has 2 goals. Okay, TK is my biggest question mark once again this year. If he doesn't have 10 goals by the midway season, deal him in a package. Get Johnny G here, and let's win the cup.
You were so hooked on Johnny G.
I'm actually not. I was just throwing that out there actually, but I mean,
they could use a player like Johnny Gaudreau because he's fast. The Flyers haven't had a guy like that in years.
Breaking news, guys! Breaking news. Bobby Ryan is a free agent right now. I would still take Bobby Ryan right now.
Does he have anything left in the tank, though?
What's that?
Does he have anything
left?
Yeah, absolutely. He's still probably a 20-goal scorer, especially with this kind of team.
I mean, he was always kind of slow. I think
he always had a couple of fucking Chardonnays in him, too, there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Haven't we all?
I mean, listen. I mean, he's 34 years old. I mean,
but our defensemen are also almost like, the Anvil's 35. Third line defenseman, get it? You still play the position. Defense.
But he's 34 with living a rough life, though. I mean, he might as well just be 40 at this point, you know?
He's 34 living in Northeast Philadelphia with fucking Chris over there.
I'm 38. I feel like I'm 48, you know?
I mean,
just saw him down on Frankfurt Ave the other day.
Yeah, hanging out the old fiddlers.
I mean, Claude Giroux's 33.
I got you.
So Claude Giroux's 33. So I mean,
Claude Giroux wasn't hanging out at Casper's 2 weeks ago. So
no, he was at Keenan's for Irish Weekend.
Yeah.
Grabbing cop butts.
That was a great plug.
But so I like the Bobby Ryan thing. I mean, is he looking to come back and play? Like what's the deal?
You know what? Honestly, at this point, and I'll tell you a little personal story. When I first moved to New Jersey, I lived in Haddon Township. I had an upholstery shop right next door to my my apartment. Got to know the gentleman that owned the store. It was Bobby Ryan's stepfather.
Okay.
Right there in Haddon Township. His stick was right up one of the bars that were up the street. 34 years old. Been through so much personal things in your life. I would retire. Unless you want to come back home on a 1-year deal. That's it. Which it may not be possible. There's also chemistry that comes with a lot of things. Bobby Ryan is a big name, but also a big name about 8 years ago. We're not at the position where we can just do, hey, veteran. I mean, I'm not going to say veteran because we brought a lot of those players in. Oh, Bobby Ryan, he was really good a long time ago. Let's bring him in. We need to win now. We need to win soon. This is the team to do it. So that might not work. I think we have a great team. Broussard, also a monster pickup that I really like. I think we have the team to contend. I really do.
Yeah, Broussard, it ended up working out in Broussard because obviously with Kevin Hayes getting hurt and being out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Which, by the way, sneak preview, I have Chris, Nina, my sis, obviously in the medical field. She's going to be coming on and doing a show with me, and we're going to dissect the high ankle sprain with Wade Allison, and we're going to talk a little bit about this situation with Kevin Hayes. So, if you want her to come on the show, she said we're happy to have both of these injuries.
Yeah, no. Listen, me and Eric, and we're always looking for, new.
Ooh. What was that?
We're always looking for new topics, and we're always open to everything else. So Bobby Ryan scored 15 goals for a bad Ottawa Senators team in 2018 and 2019. So we'll see. He only played 33 games last year, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, so all right.
My apologies. My stupid dogs were the ones who were barking. My wife walked in the door, so
That's fine, and I think he either was like, "I'm done with you guys," or he'll be back.
No, I think he was. I think he was the one having technical problems. He because while he was talking, he started breaking up, and he started getting all like Optimus Prime on us with his voice. So
I like the Bobby Ryan name, but if there's not a spot for him, if there's a spot and they need a veteran guy,
I mean, he does make a great point though, because he's at this point with the depth this team has. He's 20 goal scorer. That could one of those 20 goals can actually be really those goals can help. So I mean, towards, like I said, like he made a great point though with the whole Bobby Ryan thing. Like on this team right now, a 20 goal scorer is good. It's good to have.
Yeah, I mean there isn't. I don't know if there's anybody on this team who's made to be a 40 goal scorer.
Yeah, the only person
the closest one is Couturier.
Well, Couturier, Atkinson did it before. He was a 40 goal scorer. I mean, he's got the ability. Now, whether or not on this team, if it happens, that's a different story. But I mean, at least they have. I believe as Steven mentioned it earlier, like this team finally has some finishers on it now. Like they used to be all playmakers and no finishers, but now they actually have guys that can finish a playoff. So it's it's going to be very interesting. It's like
I mean, if Claude Giroux and Cam Atkinson and Couturier are on the line, I fully expect Claude Giroux to have about 70 assists.
Giroux's going to have I think he's going to have a very good year if like you just said, if those guys are with him. I agree with Frank. With Frank, I'm almost done with the TK experiment. I really am. Yeah, he's having audio problems. That's why.
Yeah. Listen. You don't. He's still a young guy. He's no Ben Simmons, so I just no. I'm kidding. But no, no. You're right. Like we gave him. All right, we gave him COVID. Like we gave him okay. Well, he came back. He was a little disappointing in the playoffs, and then last year he was just disappointing. Was he hurt? All right. So you know what? You're home. You have a kid. You're engaged. Now you're playing hockey. Play hockey. That's it. Like there's nothing else to do. Like you don't have to worry about your kid. You don't have to worry about your fiance being pregnant. Like there's a lot of stuff that could go. And even if he's got 15 goals, and like Frank said, if we can get a Johnny Gaudreau, do it. Like,
and it's funny too. I would absolutely love that because on my fantasy team, I drafted Johnny Gaudreau and Claude Giroux, so I would love to have that connection on the Flyers. That I would love it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's the rumors that he's not. He's not welcome in. I forget who the head coach is right now, but you just I can't see them just giving up a 2-time 30-goal scorer. Like we're gonna have to give up somebody in the minors.
Yeah, I mean,
do that.
I don't know if I want to do that.
He's not going to stay in He's not going to stay in Canada either. So if that rumor's out there, he's going to go, and this is where he wants to be. They're going to try to get something for him before he leaves for during free agency. I mean, he's got 2 years left on his deal.
I think so.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the year to move him. Especially if he starts out pretty fast and starts out well, they're gonna try to move him because they want to get something for him, and they can get something for him at this point. But next year, going into the last year of his deal, that stock goes down.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like you said, if he starts out hot, that's only going to they're going to want to jump on something right away, and it could be one of those early season trades that everybody will be like, "Where'd that come from?" But yeah, no, he definitely wants out of there, and he's got the.
Here's the thing, he is a free agent after this season.
Okay.
Oh, it's after this season. Okay.
So they absolutely have to move him.
Right. Yeah. If they want anything for him.
Right, and they got to find a team who is willing to gamble and hope that they can resign him. Now, if you look at Sean Couturier, if you look at all the Flyers contracts, they are probably built to sign him next year, or if they get him and re-sign him, because the way that if you look at Sean Couturier's contract, why it seems a lot, it's really not, which is really amazing. So, I mean, he's making $6 million this year. So, 10 probably does it. 9 million does it. So, I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. I don't know. I would like to see it. I would like to see Johnny Gaudreau, But if we get, like you said, what is it? Travis Konecny. Travis Konecny is still 24 years old. If you're going to give up Travis Konecny, we have to sign. Like, it's got to be like a guaranteed. You're staying with us, so we need to get this done before he comes over.
Right.
Do you agree?
Oh, I totally agree with that. Like he has.
It's gonna be Travis Konecny and someone else. It might be Konecny and Forrester. It could be Konecny and Lazinski. There's a bunch of players that could do it. So I don't know. Now I don't think York is up. He shouldn't be up. He should not absolutely be up because he needs to get playing time, and he will be relegated to a third, maybe fourth line. That's how good their defense is right now.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to play down in the minors. Now, after 40 games in the minors, if he's absolutely blowing it up, he's going to force their hand. And there's absolutely nothing. And there's nothing wrong with that. But he's got to play in the minors. He has to. It's Cam York is going to be a stud. He's going to be either top pairing with Ellis or Provorov next year. He has to be. So I'm going to try and add him again.
Okay.
So there he is. How we doing?
Okay there, buddy?
So sorry.
No problem.
So
No problem.
I got this. We got this coming up. I don't think he's up. I could be wrong, but there you go.
It's awesome.
Is for York. York's not up right now, is he?
No, he's in the minors, right?
So some really good news for you guys is I have some breaking news for you guys. Breaking news for you. Ristolainen and Ellis actually were held out and held out again. We may see Cam York probably on Friday or within the next week. Don't quote me on that, but they were actually held out more than just a maintenance day. Not saying that they're injured or whatnot, but 2 days in a row usually isn't what you want to see towards the end. Yeah, time off is okay, and we do have veterans where it can play, but York is my next man up. So that's it. Yeah, clearly.
While you were coming back on, I was like, I said to my knowledge, he's not
exactly what I would say.
but he's got to be on the top pairing in the Phantoms because he's not going to be. The Eagles, the Flyers defense is so stocked this year after the free agents. What else? Provorov, Yonda, all of them. Like he needs to be a top pairing. He's that good.
The D alone. I mean, and Chris, how many times have I said it? How many years did I say it was going to take this team to get together? 2, 6 months, 8 months it took for this team to. Now we have to see what it can bring, and we're going to find out. So here we go. I'll ask both of you guys. How many games do you think it will take for us to really see, okay, we may have something, or okay, we might be in trouble? I have a number in my head. Obviously, everybody is different. How many?
16. It's a quarter of a season.
16.
I was going to say 20.
20. Yeah, okay, 20. We're right there. We're all right there. Yeah, you're right there with us, Chris. Don't worry. So 20 games, 16, 20 games. It's going to take for us to really find out what we have. I mean, I have high hopes personally, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Cam York is definitely, like I said, Chris, what did I always say? In 2 years, what did I say about Cam York? I said it at your show when we were at Monkey's Uncle in Doylestown. Shout out to them, by the way, and Derek.
You said he's a stiff?
Do you remember what I said or not?
Dude, I don't know.
He'll be better than Ivan Provorov in about 2 years.
Yeah. You did say that.
Yeah,
that was a pretty bold statement, by the way.
Well, I still stand by it. Now they play different game, but Provorov is a good defenseman, shut down, who can make the good move to kind of take the puck away from the other player. Cam York sees the ice, vision, passing, puck mobility, and also just mobility in general for a 19-year-old kid. I do have Ivan Provorov as a better defenseman, better player than Ivan Provorov in probably about 2 years. Ivan Provorov will be about 26, 27, and Cam York will be about 22. Young baby. Hextall. Thank you, baby.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was a 14th pick 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So.
And Chris, how many times have we talked about everybody wanted to bring Caulfield in here? But what did I say? We got what we needed to bring in. And Eric can jump right in. Ernie can jump right in with this too. When we drafted Cam York and everybody wanted Caulfield, we drafted what we needed. We needed defense. We didn't need that score just yet, and it worked out so well. And we're going to see that real soon. Caulfield's a good player, great player, but Cam York is what we needed and what we got.
All right, so we're gonna no, that's fine. We're gonna switch gears.
Yeah.
Because so the last podcast I did with Frank was at a bar. And
which one? Monkey's Uncle, or were we at
the bar, Old Philadelphia Tavern, or whatever it's called?
Shout out to them.
So a good topic was brought up. It was a really good topic.
If
out of the four major teams, who is your most hated athlete?
Are you asking me? Or we're gonna?
I want to ask Pat and Eric.
Yeah, we'll do a roundtable.
Like, I mean, Pat. Unfortunately, he's not an Eagles fan, but he can chime in because he likes the Patriots. If he hates anybody on the Patriots, but like
Aaron Hernandez.
There you go. Okay,
that was easy.
All right, fair enough. But like if you had to go like Flyers, Sixers, and Phillies. So let's start with the Flyers. Me personally, I couldn't come up with one. Frankie's was JVR because he's not Patrick Kane.
Facts.
Which is
or Aaron Ashton. Or Aaron Ashton because when he left him with the Pittsburgh. Oh.
I couldn't stand Roman Monica. I thought he looked like Mr. Bean.
You know what? Czechmonic was going to be mine too because I didn't understand him. Yeah, I didn't.
No. So I'm talking about like hate, like absolute, like when you see his face, like when you see Ben Simmons' face and all you see is hate. That's what I want you, like when you look at a player. Like for me, for the Sixers, it's Andrew Bynum. I want to kick him in his kneecap while he's trying to roll a perfect strike when he's bowling.
Yeah, for me, that's Ben Simmons.
Well, if it was
all the way
before,
around.
I didn't
Or
know
Andrew Bynum. Andrew Bynum or Ben Simmons.
Yeah, Czechmonic for me, and then I couldn't stand like Lieberthal. I couldn't stand the guy.
I have my most hated for.
Yeah, I really didn't have a most hated until like Patrick with Ben. I mean, because there was just I had no reason to literally hate a player like I do that man. I disliked a lot of players because
I hate it. I like how your hatred for Ben Simmons. That's how I feel about Andrew Bynum. That's how. Yeah,
well, Bynum was. I mean, that was just horrible. That whole thing. Like I did not.
I want to punch him in his face.
But he's got a very similar personality to Ben Simmons. Bynum never wanted to be a basketball player either. He wanted to go and make model cars that go 80 miles an hour and bowl and do crap like that. He played basketball for the lifestyle. That's all he did.
Right, and I honestly I don't remember that because like I just remember him not playing.
I'm like, we made a trade. We got a legit center who never played, Carson Wentz. That's pretty funny. Obviously, my Eagle was Brian Dawkins that I hate. No.
What? Really?
Oh my God.
No, Jason Babin. I will punch that dude in his face.
You did tell me that.
I'll run really, really fast.
Jason Babin. Jason garbage sack Babin. They'd be down 42-21. He'd get 2
It's
sacks.
so funny.
with 2
It's so
minutes to
funny
go.
about Jason
And then he flex
Babin.
it.
I'll tell you a little story. So when we had,
Oh, that's a good one.
shout out to, of course, my boys at Talking 215. When we had Jimmy Kempski on from Philly Voice, go follow Jimmy Kempski at Jimmy Kempski at Philly Voice, #1 Eagles insider. When he came on the podcast, we're talking. His worst interview was Jason Babin. I think we talked
Really?
about this.
He
Yeah.
just doesn't look like a guy who's.
He's a hate the face. He's a hate the face.
So he's not even a good heel. I do love that.
No,
guy.
yeah.
I got to put it up again.
I'll give my we talked about this obviously you and I. My most hated Philly, Chris. Do you remember my most hated Philly? Who I said?
Oh, Scott Roll.
No, I said Scott Roll was my favorite baseball player. Actually,
no, that was me and Jake's.
Billy Wagner.
Billy Wagner.
Yep, Billy Wagner. Yeah, that's because I love Billy Wagner, but when he started not liking us, I hated him.
So
There's nothing wrong with that.
You want to throw 100? Get out of here! Get out of here!
I didn't like Papelbon either. I couldn't stand that guy.
I see.
I love
you know
his
what?
intensity.
And that's a lot of things. Like a lot of people will sit there and say they'll hate Jonathan Papelbon, and I'm like, there you go. That's a good one, Mike Mamula.
Yeah,
I like that one, Steven. But like Papelbon, I liked because he was crazy, and you need that in the mentality of a closer. He didn't give a care about anything. He was like, I came here to win. He was emotional, and he's the kind of guy who would give up a 3-run home run to end the game, to lose the game, and they would come out the next night and then strike out the side. That's the craziness of closers that you need.
For sure.
The Phillies didn't have one.
So, if you guys don't mind,
go ahead.
Obviously, I love that little 4-for-4 statement because that was a great conversation that we had. That conversation ended up leading to everybody's next segment. So to jump back to Flyers, to kind of I don't know where else you guys want to go. I'd love to know. And once again, thank you so much, boys. Chris, Eric, Pat, thank you so much for having me on your show. Love your show. Let me know whatever I can do for you guys. Everybody's expectations of the Flyers. Chris, obviously you're the host. I'll let you kind of take the lead here. I'd love to know what everybody thinks.
I already said 105 points, 48 to 50 wins. Those cheap overtime shootouts, which I really wish they would get rid of. It's a skills competition.
Mm-hmm.
What's next in football? If they don't go after the first 10 minutes, they're going to see who can throw the ball farthest. Because I'm taking Josh Allen every day to throw the ball 90 yards, and then probably Patrick Mahomes, and then Herbert.
I have it the other way around, but that's okay.
You don't think Josh Allen is the longest arm out of those three?
What's that?
I said Josh Allen arm. I didn't say
out of who?
Out of Herbert, Mahomes,
Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
Yeah, Justin
Herbert.
I watched him as
everybody. You don't have to get into the microphone. It hurts my ears. I'm just saying. No, I mean everyone's talking about Justin Herbert.
I watched him his entire career for Oregon. Did he just bite a sandwich?
I hope it was a sandwich.
Cheese fries.
Yeah.
So no, listen. I got Justin Herbert the MVP and Josh Allen.
No, I didn't get nobody's Flyers take all the way around.
I know.
So I'm trying to get back to it. I was going to do an even 100 points. I was going with even 100. I feel Pat's probably in the same area too. I'm not, but I think the three of us are all 100 to 105 and just a very good year. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Pat. When you're done with your fries,
If they get to 100, if they get to 100 points, I think that's good. I think that's a very successful season for them. I mean, and then
that's good, Terry.
And then ride the hot goalie in the playoffs. Like I said, hopefully Carter Hart's playing. He kind of peaks out around that time of the year. And that's what always seems to matter come springtime. So hopefully,
when you say ride the hot goalie, if are you actually thinking about playing Martin Jones coming to playoffs?
No, no.
Let's put Pickett head back on and bring him back for a segment.
Yeah, no. every year you see a guy who's a good goalie just elevates. The year Boucher was here, he had an amazing playoff run. And hopefully we're going to see that this spring because that's what Roy's going to do.
We always go back to that 2010 year when we had 2 goalies, don't we, guys?
Oh, God.
Well, I truly believe that Carter Hart last year was just that sophomore slump. He hit that wall and he just couldn't rebound from it. Yeah,
I think Billingham helped. I think Billing helped. I'll go to my grave believing that Billing helped. I think that was what did it. And, you should ask him, Frankie. You're in the media. You should ask him. Say, the guys were talking, and the Billing was really what motivated you this year.
I'll let him know. But listen, Pat, he wanted his question in. He fucking came over and ate a bunch of cheese fries, and he couldn't get his question in. That's going to be like, I can't believe. I was like mid-show, and all of a sudden I see this.
Awesome.
I thought it was a sausage sandwich.
No, just some cheese fries. Yeah,
love it.
That's awesome.
Easter Conference Finals. I can't wait for the season. Chris, Eric, Pat, thank you so much for having me on.
Listen, Eastern Conference Finals isn't nothing to like people who want to sit there and say, you're just being a homer. They were in Game 7 from the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, that's what I had to look up. That's why.
No, I love it. No,
Wentz fumbled on like the 4.
Flyers.
As they were going in the score.
William, give me 5 more minutes, brother. Give me 5 more minutes. Cheese fry. No, I'm joking around. I just want to say cheese fry. Patrick.
Wentz fumbled. Did he break his thumb when he did it?
No, he had a cheese fry.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, boys, I love doing shows with you guys, man. Thank you so much for having me on, seriously.
No problem, man. We're just glad you were able to come on.
Yeah. Got a little free time in my hands. Obviously, holy shit. Wow. Chris is going. Oh, that's party. This time you and I did a show and Chris was on vacation. I came on. We had a hell of a show. I remember doing a chat. People like Claude Jerusalem. I was like, "Yeah, your mother hates you." And move on to the next.
Well, that was the best.
Matt, you were with us, remember?
Yeah,
he was there for that.
Yeah,
that's why I was like, you know what, this is going to be a full fan interactive show. And as soon as they started on you with Claude Giroux stuff, I was like, okay, so I'm just stepping away.
Well, we all know. It's a big year, obviously, for him. Obviously, I'll keep saying it. 3 you guys, I love your show so much. Thank you so much for everything you guys done for me having me come on tonight. You guys are obviously my first show that I got to come on as a free agent. Let's keep it rocking and rolling. Ernie, love you, brother. Chris, whatever. Cheese fry, keep it rolling. He's cheese fry, dude.
He's cheese fry. There you go. You got a nickname now.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for having me on. Seriously.
No problem, my man.
So, hold on one second.
You want to ask for me to plug anything? You want to plug anything?
You can plug anything you want.
Oh, guys. Well, thank you so much. Obviously, I had to plug Flyers Nitty Gritty. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
We're not going to look at his name?
What?
That's awesome. Oh, Chris, you're the man. Shout out to Flyers Nitty Gritty. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to write and be a journalist for the team. Shout out to Talking 215 just because they're my boys. I love them so much. Best of luck to them. Got to give a shout out to Flyers Alley. We've done a lot of things together, a lot of good things in the works. Shout out to Jesse from Delco. Shout out to my great neighbor Bobby over here for letting me come over and use your Wi-Fi. The best, the queen of morale, as I like to call her. But no, guys, thank you so much. See you guys on Saturday.
Yes, man. See you later.
Eric, Chris, cheese fry. Thanks so much for having me on, guys. Rock and roll. That's great, dude. See you, boys.
See you guys.
See you.
Later.
All right. Well, that was Frankie James, a.k.a. I know he's going to hate it, Steskal, from Flyers Nitty Gritty, joining us live on the Philly podcast, talking Flyers and pretty much anything else, and apparently cheese fries. So
I had to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it was no, that was funny, but no, that was good. That was a good segment. So yeah, I mean, no, I agree with you guys, man. I see over 100 points for the Flyers this year. I see at least a conference final, and it's going to be a fun season for them. I really do. Like they finally have a defense, and I'm excited. I'm really excited.
No, and as we should be. It's
Mhm.
it's a good time to be a Flyers fan, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, but like Frank said earlier too, like you can thank Hextall for the team that's actually like put together right now. I mean, he believed in building with the young guys and doing all that stuff. He believed it, and and I don't know. I still don't understand what happened with that whole Hextall thing. It was like I don't know. Was he rushed? Did they want him to bring these guys up earlier, or So it. But like again, we can thank him for what we have right now on the ice.
Real
you're
quick,
right.
Before we cut and run, because we're up on an hour, I know that's generally how long we go. I'm not a fan of the team, but I need to get an opinion. What is going on with Lane Johnson, guys?
I'm not touching it. The rumors are out there. I'm not saying anything.
I didn't even hear a rumor. I haven't heard any rumors because I'm not. Again, that's not my team. But
so I'll tell you what I heard off camera, but I'm not putting it out.
Yeah,
there.
I don't want to put it out there either. But
that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, because it's still basically rumors at this point. That's filtering out. But yeah, I don't want to put anything out there just yet.
Yeah, I had no idea. I saw today that Sirianni came out and they said they don't expect him back all season. And I went to football practice. I have no idea what So
yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame because like they could really, they need them. They really absolutely need them. I mean, yeah, it's a shame. It really is. But all right, my men, what are we doing?
I'm going to end it with the outro.
All righty.
And then I'll talk to you.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's easy to sum it up. We talking about practice.
Because it's about as casual as it gets. What's the problem now?
That's a clown question, bro.
I think we ought to change the B-man at least.
World champions!
Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
Philadelphia, looking as only you can look. Woo!